Homeward Bound Daily Devotional by Ellen G. White. Character Building, July 15th. There is therefore now no condemnation to them which are in Christ Jesus, who walk not after the flesh but after the Spirit. Romans chapter 8 verse 1. True education does not ignore the value of scientific knowledge or literary acquirements, but above information it values power, above power, goodness, above intellectual acquirements, character. The world does not so much need people of great intellect as of noble character. It needs men and women in whom ability is controlled by a steadfast principle. Wisdom is the principal thing, therefore get wisdom. The tongue of the wise useth knowledge aright. Proverbs chapter 4 verse 7 and chapter 15 verse 2. True education imparts wisdom. It teaches the best use not only of one but all powers and acquirements. Thus it covers the whole circle of obligation, to ourselves, to the world, and to God. Character building is the most important work ever entrusted to the human being, and never before was its diligent study so important as now. Never was any previous generation called to meet issues so momentous. Never before were young men and young women confronted by perils so great as confront them today. At such a time as this, what is the trend of education given? To what motive is appealed most often? To self-seeking. Much of the education given is a perversion of the name. In true education, the selfish ambition, the greed for power, the disregard for the right and needs of humanity that are the curse of the world find a counter-influence. God's plan of life has a place for every human being. All are to improve their talents to the utmost, and faithfulness in doing this, be the gifts few or many entitles one to honor. In God's plan, there is no place for selfish rivalry. Those who measure themselves by themselves and compare themselves among themselves are not wise. 2 Corinthians chapter 10 verse 12. Whatever we do is to be done as of the ability which God giveth. 1 Peter chapter 4 verse 11. It is to be done heartily as to the Lord, and not unto men, knowing that of the Lord ye shall receive the reward of the inheritance, for ye serve the Lord Christ. Colossians chapter 3 verse 23 and 24. Precious the service done and the education gained in carrying out these principles. But how widely different is much of the education now given. From the child's earliest years, it is an appeal to emulation and rivalry. It fosters selfishness, the root of all evil. Homeward Bound